Okay, I'm going to start this segment off with a Jeremiah chapter 25, verses 4 through 13. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, Turn ye again now every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the work of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and I will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and an hissing, and perpetual desolation. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it a perpetual desolations. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book which Jeremiah hath prophesied against all the nations. Now a lot of people are going to listen to that verse, that passage, and they're going to say, oh, well, if God loves us so much, why did he punish people like that back then? Well, God punished those people because those people kept doing something in particular that God had repeatedly told them not to do. They had kept on worshiping idols over and over again. And this wasn't just some, little statue in a person's house. These gods that they worshipped, these Baals and Ashtaroths, a lot of these required various immoral sexual practices, ranging from cult prostitution to bestiality, some of them. And even more so, there was also other kinds of things such as child sacrifice, and this is what they kept doing over and over again, or this is what they kept desiring to be like. Ancient Israel had a problem with really, really wanting to be like their surrounding nations. They wanted to worship idols like they worshipped. They wanted, even politically, they wanted to have the same politics. They didn't want God to rule over them. They wanted a king to rule over them. So, instead of simply wiping them out with a disease or fire or anything, God wanted to teach them a lesson. And so God allowed Israel's enemies, Israel's foreign neighbors, to conquer them, to rule over them, to force their religions upon them, to force their government system upon them. And that's how it was. In this case, it is an eye for an eye, it is a tooth for a tooth. God's punishment normally fits the crime. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say, oh, well, if God is so merciful, why punish them at all? Well, the fact of the matter is that it was God that led the people out of Egypt, not the Baals. It was God that established the 10 Commandments, not the Ashtarim. It was God that laid down the manna for Israel to eat when they were in the wilderness. So, if God is doing all this for his people, and his people turn around, spit on his ways, decide that they don't want him to rule over them, but they want a king to rule over them, decide that they don't want to worship him the way he said, but want to do all kinds of other filthy things, you have to ask yourself, shouldn't God, if this is his world, have a right to punish them? And what I can't understand is I don't understand why people have such a hard time accepting that. Even if they don't believe in God, the idea that God punishes people, especially for being disobedient, I just don't understand why they have such a hard time accepting that. And what I don't understand even more is why they refuse to realize that God is extremely merciful. It says right here in Micah 7:18, "Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy." People have to understand that God is a God of love, of peace, of wisdom, and all that stuff, but he's also a God of justice and judgment. And if people, don't follow his ways, if people curse his name, if people spit on him, eventually there's going to be some punishment somewhere along down the line. That's the way it is. So, this is all I have to say about this segment. Please make some comments. Please comment on my videos. I like, debating and stuff like that. So, thank you for listening.